Welcome to today's episode of Tech Talk, where we dive into the world of software development tools that streamline our daily tasks. Today, I want to explore a nifty tool called dockerfmt, which focuses on formatting your Docker files. Now, if you've ever wrestled with a messy Docker file, you know it can be quite the headache trying to keep everything neat and readable. So let's unpack this tool. dockerfmt is built on top of the internal BuildKit parser, and it aims to make your Docker file formatting cleaner. You might be wondering, what does that mean? Well, maintaining consistent formatting in code is key to readability and maintainability. Just think about it like organizing your closet. When everything is in its place, it's so much easier to find what you need. Okay, let's jump into some of its features. When you run dockerfmt, you can simply use the command dockerfmt Dockerfile flags. It's super straightforward. You'll notice a range of commands available, such as completion for generating auto-completion scripts for your shell, and version, which tells you what version of dockerfmt you're working with. You can also use the help command if you need more details. Now you might be thinking, what are these flags? These are optional parameters that enhance how dockerfmt works for you. There's a flag to check if your Docker files are formatted properly, another to set the number of spaces used for indentation, defaulting to 4, which is pretty standard, and even options to write the formatted output back into your files. But it's not just about formatting. Let's look at some of the limitations to keep in mind. The run parser currently doesn't support grouping or semicolons in commands, which can be a bit of a hiccup. Also, long JSON commands won't get line wrapped, something to consider if you often work with complex commands. Speaking of commands, one interesting feature is the support for basic hairdocks. This is where you can include multi-line commands in your run steps, making it easier to execute sequences in your Docker files. Here's a little example. You can write run eof echo hello echo world eof, which keeps it clean and readable. And dockerfmt even handles inline comments in run steps. How cool is that? Before we wrap up, let's talk about pre-commit hooks. I think it's awesome that you can add a hook to your pre-commit config.yaml file to ensure every commit checks for properly formatted Docker files automatically. This means your code stays clean without having to think about it every single time. So to sum it all up, dockerfmt is a valuable tool for any developer working with Docker files. It brings organization to your containers, helps avoid common formatting issues, and fosters a cleaner, more efficient workflow. If you find yourself working with Docker, I recommend giving it a shot. Thanks for tuning in to Tech Talk today. I hope you found this episode on dockerfmt enlightening and that you're inspired to bring some organization into your projects. Until next time, keep coding and stay curious.